certain songs will make me want to play, and my fingers will tingle, and it's like I want to play.
You can just put it right there for you.
You could.
Hey, I actually used to do ministry while I was playing the piano, and I would actually operate more prophetically
As
that way.
long as
That's
it's
how.
a little lower than you,
what was that guy's
we're
name?
good.
You know what I'm talking about?
Like the keyboard sound, like music
No, I
noise.
got you.
He did the prophecies for like
It's hard to
trumpet and
hear you
stuff.
up there. So.
You know what I'm talking about? Kim Clement.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah. That's.
All right.
You should try that at home one time by yourself.
I used to.
Well, you should do it again.
Maybe I don't want to. Don't want to open that door.
I don't know. I told him he should do it so like to go to sleep.
Well,
Like do the YouTube video, like, oh, this is for
I had a
sleep.
guy actually tell me that he would pay for one of my videos, like one of my songs, if I would write like a 30-minute one, where I would just, because I flow. I don't actually, so when I play piano, I just flow.
right.
And I just make stuff.
Mhm.
So that was one of the reasons that a lot of churches like me, because when they're preaching, I can make up something that fits the atmosphere, and I kind of get led in what direction to play. So then I'll start playing something that will fit the atmosphere. That's why I try to find something in the background, because I like when music plays in the background, because it keeps me from it keeps my ADHD here, so I can pinpoint. If I turn that on, I'll hear everything, and then my mind will be scattered, and I can't hone in.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah. So I love having something playing in the background, some kind of, and this in particular person, this is all they do is they make worship, like sulking prayer music and stuff like that, and I just like having it in the background. It just helps me hone in what I'm saying. Sometimes I go a new way.
I put this stuff on in order to study.
It really does help.
You ever thought about how much different you might be behind the pit if you were doing it at the same time?
Well, maybe God will open another door for us to eventually have all of that. You know, like if we do get a building one day and we get like our own thing going on, that would be something that I would love to do. I love playing and just flowing. Like that was one of the things. But we'll get there. If we don't, we don't. We do. All right. So today, last week I was talking about discouragement. We're talking about the new year, new me kind of stuff, or new year, same me. All right. So this is one of those things, because I deal in the fitness industry. I deal with personal training for a long, long time. And when you work with people and you're working at GNC and you're working with people that are fitness like driven, everyone comes up with this is the year that I'm going to make a change. This is the year that I'm going to start working on myself. This is the year that I want to get in shape. I want to get healthy. I want to make better life decisions, life choices. This year I'm going to get a better job. This is a year, and we keep making false promises to ourselves that this is the year that this thing is going to change. It's the heart's right, but the drive isn't. It's the discipline is the hardest thing I think to do when you're trying to make changes. When I told myself I wanted to get bigger in muscle, I didn't want to take the shortcuts, I didn't want to take all that stuff. And it's like I was told and time and time again, you will never change your body without doing some kind of drug. And I was like, bet. Like, I'll take that challenge. So I'm the kind of person that gets I'm very disciplined in what I do. So when I make my mind up that I'm going to do something, I will do it and do it and do it until I can't do it anymore. I don't like stepping up and saying, hey, this is going to be your, I'm going to change before the end of the year. I still want to make the changes then, but people, it's like they need that date that they know they're going to keep. When I walk into the gym and I see the gym slammed, I'm like, give it to the end of the month. And it'll be back to being dead. Because no one follows through because they realize, wow, working out sucks and it's hard. To get to where I want to be, it's going to take work. And that's where they fall off, is the work part. See, it's the same thing in Christianity. We go into the mindset of Christianity that this is a year that I'm not going to be discouraged anymore. But you can't promise that. Everyone in this room, like last week, I was discouraged. You're going to have days of discouragement, months of discouragement, weeks of discouragement. You're going to have moments where you don't want to wake up and do this anymore. You're going to have moments where you just want to walk away and quit, man. It doesn't matter if you're ministry, mom, dad, work, general manager. It doesn't freaking matter, dude. You're going to wake up one day and be like, this I'm done with. And your motivation dies with that. Because no matter how much you give of yourself, it's like no matter how much you pour of yourself, it feels like you're losing a piece of yourself every time that you do it. Does anyone realize that? Same. So check this out. And we tell ourselves, this is the year. This is my year. This is the year that I change. Oh, I ain't going to be this person no more. You might be right, but then you become worse. You become more toxic. In the pursuit of not being the person you are right now, you become worse. I'm not going to let people walk over me no more. That's not what Scripture says. What I do is when they do walk over me, I forgive them. And I don't put myself in that situation no more with those same people. You don't want to be walked on anymore? Don't put yourself in the situation with those people. Cut those friends out. Well, they're family. Say they're family. And I can't cut them out right now. Then work toward putting distance between you and that person. Not cutting off the relationship, but distance. Sometimes distance heals the relationship. So if we can put distance, this will heal. Unless they're just stubborn and they're jerks and they don't want it. We have a few people in our life that are like that. They don't want the healing. They don't want that. They're like, harumph. I love that word, I'm sorry. So one of the things that I like to teach people is this. So this is going to be, since we're more of a smaller group today, we're just going to have conversation. We're just going to have conversation. Is that cool? I know I'm an unorthodox person. Maybe I should. Greek. Should I go Greek Orthodox? All right. Everyone in here is a new creation. We all know that. Had this conversation last night with one of my pastor friends. We give our life to Christ, and I'm going to try to explain this the best that I can, because it is a hard subject. You give your life to Christ, you have now become a new creation. Your inner man has become the new creation, not your outer. So I'm going to break this down a little bit more simple. Your outer man is still the same person. It wants what it wants, desire, flesh, lust, all that stuff. Flesh wants what it wants. Your spirit man now is completely renewed and changed and new. Completely different. That inner man has never been before. Alright? It's pretty simple. Sometimes this, the flesh, does not feel the impact of this. So this makes you think you're not changed. Following? So this flesh makes you feel like you're not changed. But the spirit man actually is. So when you truly believe in Jesus Christ, you are a new creation. Right then. The work was already done. That's hard for people to accept. Because you have religious sects that there is truth in what they say, but there's also a little bit of a bent to their truth. It's a little exaggerated truth. You know what I'm saying? A little harsher. It's more of a fear tactic to keep you in line. It is not. I don't believe in using fear tactics, but I do like to give truth that this is a life we should not live. We should not be. We should not continue acting it. We should not be giving our life. We should not be submitting to the flesh. Okay. So what people don't realize is when they give your life to Christ, you are the new creation. But your flesh isn't. Your flesh is now at war with the spirit. So this is what you feel on the inside of you. It's like a tug of war. Your flesh is like, come back and do the things you enjoyed that made us feel good and gave us dopamine. Your spirit's like, don't do that because that's not reflecting God's love and who God is and a walk as a Christian. Like that's against God. But the flesh is like, but it feels great. The spirit's like, but it's not good for you. So now you have this inner tug of war that you didn't have before. And it's like when you come to Christ, you realize how much in bondage. See, when you're in sin, you don't realize how much bondage you're in until you come into Christ. When you come into Christ, you then wake up. It's like, wow, I didn't realize how much bondage I was actually in until I tried to come out of the lifestyle that I originally was in. Then I realized how much I was held down by this because people don't realize that. They're like, I'm not in bondage. Come out of it. Try to live a good, like a holy life. And when you hear holy, everyone thinks like I have to walk on water and when I, breathe, animals come to existence. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is like Every day you wake up, you look at your life, you evaluate your life through Scripture, and you're like, okay, God, these are some areas I struggle with. Help me. Give me strength. Help me be the man that you called me to be. Help me be the woman that you called me to be. Today I struggle with, say, my anger. Or today we deal with discouragement. Or tomorrow we deal with a little bit of depression and sadness. And the next day we deal with a little bit of anxiety. We don't know why. We just crippling anxiety. I hate that. I hate when that comes out of nowhere. You're like, what? All right? So say you're dealing with these things. They hit you. Boom, boom, boom. It's coming to God. Those things, when it hits you, is supposed to pull you to God, where you come to Him. And you're like, these are my problems. I have anxiety. I don't know where it came from. And you said not to be anxious. So God help me. I'm struggling. We don't do that. Hey, God, I know that you put lust in me. Now hear what I'm saying. The desire of sex in me. But I'm craving it a little bit more than I should. Will you give me the strength to control myself? You know, or like, man, my temper is flaring. I'm angry, I'm mad, I want to cuss that person out, I want to talk bad about that person. So God give me strength not to do that. I want to join into that because they've offended me, they've hurt me. Or say, for instance, like family members. Everyone in here's got family members who want to do that too. All right? God, give me the strength to endure 5 minutes in the presence. It's like, give me the strength to endure them. You know? And it's like, with all these things, everything in our life is supposed to draw us to God and not push us away from Him. But sometimes, like when I get discouraged, like the past month, I've had a borderline personality flare-up thing. Where it's like, the move, job, just everything new, a lot of changes taking place, pulling me out of a lot of comfort places, feeling like I was failing every corner, everywhere I turned, I felt like I was letting everyone down and failing, and it just imploded. It just like spiraled me down, and then I felt like someone was doing this to me, and I couldn't get up. And it wasn't even depression. It was irritability, anger. It was just numbness. I felt nothing. Like I felt no empathy, sympathy, compassion. I just felt drained. I felt dead. I didn't want to keep doing it. I didn't want to keep going. Like I was just done. And then everything just kept piling up. On top of that, after this happened, it just kept piling up. So then I reached out to someone finally, and they kind of helped me. Remember when I said that it's like a knot and your emotions become like a tangled knot, and then when you talk it out, it kind of de-threads it, helps it kind of unthread to where you can see, and then you can kind of rationalize and process. So after that conversation I had, because I'm looking for an answer, I'm not looking just to spit venom out. I'm like, this is where I'm at, this is what I'm feeling, this is what, but why am I feeling this way? Why is it leading to all these revenues? Why am I mad at this? This isn't worth being mad at. Why do I hate this? This is not worth hating. Why am I wanting to give up on this? It's not worth giving up on. So it's like all these things I had to rationalize, and they helped me unravel that so I could process it. But yeah, I get it, man. When everything like changes, rapid things happen, and stuff's coming at you all at one time, sometimes it's hard to be like, hey God, what's up? Sometimes you're more like, I don't want to talk to him, anybody. Even though you know that's who you're supposed to pray to, that's who you're supposed to talk to, you sometimes just don't have it in you to do. Sometimes you just, and it's wrong. Yes, it is wrong, but it's just sometimes we're just there. And I don't know if anybody else has been there, but it's like I know that God is not the problem. That He's the solution, but sometimes because of where I'm at, I don't even want to talk to God because I'm like, I'm just going to talk to you in frustration. And I've heard pastors say to talk to Him in frustration. It's better to talk to Him in frustration than not talk to Him at all and cut the lifeline. So that was one of the things, and a lot of people are like, well, He's a holy God, and I'm not disrespecting Him, but I am angry at the situation and the circumstance because I don't understand it. And I'm frustrated in the circumstance. I don't understand it. Like, one of my favorite things is that I'm like, God, why do I always get crapped on? It's like, right when I think I'm doing better, it's like, No, I'm gonna pull the rug out from your feet. Or like my favorite line from Spider-Man, I'm gonna put a little dirt in your eye. That's what I feel like happens to me every day. I'm like, I'm having a great day, and then God's just like, I'm gonna put a little dirt in your eye. My God, I love you. I didn't deserve this. Woe is me, I don't want to live. It's like, it gets stupid. But in those moments, it's supposed to draw us to God, and I know that. And it's hard to help people, especially when they're in that place. And that's why I'm glad that I go through these places and these valleys and these dark places sometimes, because it keeps me humble. Most people don't celebrate the craziness. They complain about it. I've gotten to a place, and this is not, I'm not putting anybody down, I'm just saying, like, I've gotten to a place myself where it's like, in the moment, I freaking hate it. But it's like, deep down inside, I know why I had to go through it. And I answered my own question. I said, God, why am I going through all of this? Is this an area of my heart that isn't strong? Is this an area, is the reason you're not coming in and rescuing me from this emotional distress is because I need it to build me up to become stronger, to endure the attacks that I'm going to have to face eventually. And if I get crippled by little things, say I go into a church and I have, like, a church opens up and they're like, hey, we want you to be our pastor. I go in and I teach the stuff that I teach, which is rough sometimes. And then half the church leaves. Am I going to personalize it? Or will I allow it to crush me? If I'm not strong and I have no endurance, when those battles come, it'll cripple me. It will make me walk away. And God's love is, and I need you to hear, oh man, I need you to hear this. God's love is so great that even in the midst of what you think is hell, is Him preparing you for something that you've been asking for. He's preparing you for something. Maybe you keep in your faith even when you feel like giving up, and the people around you seeing it, and you keep drawing into God, and the people around you see it, it affects them. It affects them. It's drawing. So maybe your depression was someone's breakthrough, and you don't. And I know that sounds weird, but you're going through it, but you keep pushing to God. You're dealing with it, but you keep turning to God. You're hurting, but you keep praying and you keep asking. And you want to give up and you want to die, but you keep trusting. And everyone around you see it. And everyone around you is going through the same thing you're going through. And you don't know it. They just deal with it differently. Theirs comes out in anger and frustration. All right? And then all of a sudden, something changes on the inside of them. They're like, man, if they love God in the midst of every hell that they're dealing with, and they have faith, and he brought them through it. It's the evidence of what we're doing. That's where it says, what does it say about when we go through trials? Who gets the glory? Who's the one who gets all of it? Because He does what? He brings us through it. So He's the one. He says He turns it for what? His glory. What the enemy meant for evil. What the enemy did to destroy you, God's like, bet. Satan, you try to make a mess out of his life, but I'm going to make a message out of it. That's what the mentality that we don't have. So when I say that God sees the ending of your story, the reason God didn't interject and come in and make you feel all fluffy and comfortable and comfort you in that time of thing was because it was character development. It's some bullcrap. But you have no idea why He's trying to bring you through something like that. Why He's building you up through that process. It's like building. He's building something. It's structural. He's encouraging. He's building you up and preparing you. He's getting you ready. You're like, God, I want this. And He's like, okay, if I give you that now, could you handle it? And if you think about it, in the mindset that you're at right now, I want you to think about it. Take the thing you really want. All right, take the thing you really want. You've been asking God for it, that all your heart desired, and He gave it to you before you went through your struggle. Really, at that immature state that you were at, in those immaturities that we had in our life, could we have handled it? I'm going to tell you straight up, I couldn't. If God gave me a church a month ago, I would. I'm not saying I couldn't do it, but I wouldn't be able to handle some of the attacks and some of the things that would happen. Because when you're coming into a church, there's people who like it preached a certain way, done a certain way, and if you change that, they're done with you.
Yeah.
They'll walk away. They'll be like, this fallacy, this false preacher, this wolf, and then they spread rumors about you. And then they try to destroy your character. They're character assassins. Because they didn't get their way because they're spoiled little brats. Well, we all went to the church and we witnessed it.
Yep.
It's like I was telling my buddy last night, Josh, this. I said, you know what's funny? You take these people who claim to be Christians, okay? They love here's the thing, I'm going to break this down. This is the people that hurt you in church. Most likely, these are the people that hurt you in church. So hopefully, if someone's watching, this will explain a lot. If you got church hurt, I'm going to explain why. And this should set you free from it. It really should. It did me. You take an individual who only goes to church because they like the culture. They like going to church because they like the community. They like the connection. They like feeling important. They like to walk in and feel like there's something. Because they really don't feel that in their everyday life. They feel like crap every day. So they're in this platform, this position. I'm close with the pastor. I sell the most money. Or blah, blah, blah. Or I spoke in tongues. So it positions them. But anybody can speak in tongues. Anybody can. All you have to say is, like, and there you go. You start rolling your R's and letting it flow. And you'll start speaking in your tongues. Anybody can false it. Anybody can fake it if you practice it enough. So you take this person who loves the image, but they're not changed. They don't possess Holy Spirit. They're not actually godly. They have no love in their life. And there's no mercy, grace, forgiveness, gentleness. There's none of that stuff's producing by the Holy Spirit. And every one of us are going to fail one of those things. We're Christians. We're human beings that at the end of the day, we're still men and women. And we're going to miss it. Okay? We're going to mess up. We're going to make mistakes. We're family. We're going to miss it. But this person, so then you have a person like that, and it could be a family. And if it's the wife running the family, I can most tell you where it's going to come from. Because most of the time we get hurt in churches from women. See, me, it was all the women. They love to run their mouth. They like to condemn, damn, and judge. The only time I got hurt by the men in the church was by my pastor when he said I was a deadbeat, mooch, and all these other things that was just running my name in the ground. That sucked. That sucked. But then he would be like, oh, man of God. So that kind of hurt. I'm getting one story from somebody else, but then when you're around me, you're pretending that you love me. And then he would always wonder why I never wanted to get close to him. Or whenever I started to get close and I would see the behavior not lining up with what they were saying, I pulled back. And he was like, you always pull back every time we try to get close and we think we're doing good, you pull back. I'm like, yeah, because I see your inconsistencies. And then they'll hit you with that real quick, pow! And then your mind goes blank. And then when you leave, it's like, then you remember everything when you leave. You're like, oh, why couldn't I remember that when I was in there? Like, why couldn't I think of that when I was there? So, when we're dealing with, and like for your instance, you said it was mainly the men that kind of, well, actually no, because your family went through and it was mainly some men. It was a combination.
It was
Most of mine was actually the pastor.
See? So it's either going to be a pastor's
Or his daughter.
I was about to mention the
Pastor or
children.
the daughter
Oh,
of the
yeah.
pastor. Those are all marked church right there. It's
The-
always one of those two.
Yeah.
Or it's, you know what I mean? It's always one
No,
of
I
those.
got you. Here's the thing. And there is a difference between an unintentional, I hurt you, and I intentionally hurt you.
Oh, these were intentional.
Again, just because you're a pastor doesn't exclude you from being a student sometimes. It doesn't exclude you. Alright. In Colossians, I love this. It says, but now rid yourselves completely of all these things: anger, rage, malice, slander, obscene, abusive, filthy, vulgar language from your mouth. Do not lie to one another, for you have stripped off the old self with its evil practices. Let's stop right there before we get to verse 10. He's like, you have stripped off. So, are you going to feel anger? Yes. Are you going to feel rage? Absolutely. Are you going to have malice that will enter your heart? 100%. Are you going to want to slander? 100%. Are you going to have abusive and filthy talk fly out of your mouth sometimes? 100%. Thank God for His grace and mercy. It isn't a license to do it, but it will happen. It will happen. Everyone's going to have a breaking point. No matter how much you believe in Jesus or not, you'll have a breaking point. Now, the more mature we get in our spirit, the more mature we get in Christ, I promise you, it's easier to control it. You still feel what you feel, but it won't leave here. It'll enter here. You won't allow it to hit here. You'll be like, that sucked. I'm moving on. You will mature from it. Only those who want to use, well, I'm still growing, God's still working on me. Only those, they want to stay there. They want to excuse the behavior. There is no excuse for hurting people. Okay? And coming into the new year, one thing I would say is this right here. Rid yourself of all these things this year. It doesn't mean that you won't encounter them. It doesn't mean that they won't flare up. It doesn't, I look at it like IBS. That's what anger and rage is for me. It's like IBS. It's irritating and it's a mess. So, it says, do not lie to one another. But right here at verse 10 it says, and have put on the new spiritual self, who is being continually, now hear that word. Why isn't it one time? Why is he saying, when he's saying the new self who is being continually renewed in true knowledge in the image of Him who created the new self? A renewal in which there is no distinction between Greek and Jew. And he talks about the circumcised and non-circumcised, right? That there's no distinction. That He continually renews in the true knowledge in the image of Him who created the new self. One of the things I would encourage is be careful who we affiliate with this year. If you want to make the changes, you want to grow, mature, you want to develop, you want to draw closer to God, stop drawing close to the wrong people and wanting the wrong people to be the right people. So we want the wrong people to be the right people because we are social creatures. Okay, not me. Some of us are social creatures. I'm not a social butterfly. I'm more of a cat. I walk in, make an appearance, and I go to a litter box and then I go to bed. I don't literally use litter box. I'm using it as a metaphor because there are some people who do. So what I'm saying is I kind of walk in, I'm like, hey, goodbye, and then I'm out, and I'm not afraid. All right? That's kind of like how I am. But as social creatures, we want that unification. We want to be accepted. We want to be liked. We want to be loved. We want the people that we want our peers to validate and affirm us and confirm us and love us and all that stuff. We want that. We want to feel like we belong. Belonging is really important. I'm not going to point anybody out. So coming into the new year and choosing, because here's the thing, let's not go into the new year continuously every year bringing in the old self, the old struggles. And you're always going to struggle, but I'm the kind of person, I don't like to make goals. I don't. Because if I set a goal, I'm probably not going to reach it. So I strive for, I'm just like, you know what, God, I missed these things yesterday. My goal is to be whatever you have called me to be. To strive for that. If it's holiness, I want to strive for holiness. If it's perfection in you, I want to strive for that. If it's being a better person, a better husband, a better friend, I want to strive for that. Reveal to me the areas I need to change. You want to know what my goal is? Fine, we'll have a goal. My goal is to be Christ-like. That's genuinely it. I don't want to be new year, new me. No, I'm already a new me in Christ. I know it's cliche, but I am. I'm already new. The thing is I want to continually be renewed in Him. I want to be in His presence. I want to be in that place. I want to be changed. I don't want to hurt people. I don't want to harm people. I don't want to be a jerk. I don't want to always be angry. I don't want to always feel down. You know, and it's like one of my hardest battles is this church. Not you, but it's the church itself. Like the building it up, trying to get people to come. You know, trying to bring something, trying to like present something safe and the right atmosphere and like striving for perfection in everything that I do. And I know that I said all these unexpected, stupid things, But that cripples me a lot. That's the heaviest thing I think that I deal with, outside of other stuff. But I would say the ministry, because I love the church, I love ministry, I love people, I want to help people. My desire is to see people grow and mature and build and become better. And I think that that's where the enemy really plays on my mind a lot. And where I play on myself a lot. Sometimes I might even give Satan credit. It's me a lot. Because I'm like, I'm failing, I'm not good enough, I'm not doing these things. And it's like, because I'm a person who wants to succeed in everything that he does. And when you don't see it growing or thriving, you feel like you're failing and you're not succeeding. So if you start like a business, or you do something, or there's a business you want to start, and say, like my wife, she wants to do like marriage stuff, she wants to do like wedding coordinating, or like say you wanted to do your own computer thing one day, your own business, or if you wanted to have like your own like health thing where you make all natural things.
I do have a business.
See, look, she's got her own business. So what I'm saying is, like, when you don't see it taking off or thriving, some people God has more favor on, and it's like it does. It takes off, it thrives, it's good. You kill it. And then some people, you go through that, and then you start questioning, okay, did I hear God in this? And one of my mentors came up to see me at GNC the other day, and he said, there is no doubt in my mind that God called you for this. He's like, there is no doubt in my mind. Dude, you want to talk about break, like I almost broke on that man? Like, that's an understatement. He almost had my tears. When he said, like, there's no doubt in my mind that you're called to do this. Like, that means a lot. Because I don't have a lot of pastor friends who say, hey, I see it. And he was talking about, like, I see a lot of people, and he was talking about, like, how a lot of ministers, he's done a lot of people, and he said he was really encouraging. That's all I can say. It was really encouraging. But even then, sometimes, even after the encouragement comes and the person walks away, it just steps back in. It steps right back in. So, in Corinthians 5, we're going to start in 10 through 13. It says, this was after he was saying, like, he was talking about who not to sit with and eat with. So he says, not meaning the immoral people of this world, or the greedy, or swindlers, or idolaters, for when you have to get out of the world and humanity society together, right? He says, but actually, this is after he says, do not eat with such people, right? He says, but actually, okay, I have written to you not to associate with any so-called Christian or brother if he is sexually immoral, greedy, idolater, devoted to anything that takes the place of God, or is a reviler, that is one who insults, slanders, or otherwise verbally abuses others, or is a drunkard or swindler. You must not so as much as eat with such a person. For what business is it of mine to judge outsiders or non-believers? Do you not know that, or do you not judge those who are within the church, to protect the church as the situation requires? God alone sits sits in judgment on those who are outside the faith. Remove the wicked one from among you. Expel him from your church. Now, that doesn't mean when we have little tiffs or we get a little cuckoo. That's not what he's talking about. What he's talking about, people who are intentionally, they don't have any evidence that they're absolutely changed. It's like I gave my life to Christ, but they're right back out there doing everything. Now, there is this little period when someone comes to Christ, they will either feel the fullness of the change, and they're like, I don't want to do this no more, or they receive the change, but yet they're not mature enough or understand, like, hey, we can't do this no more. So sometimes people will truly give their life to Christ and run back to the lifestyle because it's all they know. And they don't have anybody discipling them to pull them out of that and to mature them and grow them and teach them, hey, this isn't us no more. So there is like a grace period that I give baby Christians, like when they first give their life to Christ. You have to give them grace because they're just coming into knowing who Jesus is, what he is, what he did for me, who I have to be. I'm just glad they received Christ. And people are like, well, if he really received Christ, why is he going back to a sin? That's all he knows right now. I'm not justifying it, but that's all he knows. He literally just came. You can't expect someone who comes right off the street, drugs, selling, dope, sex, and fornication, prison, comes out of the streets and he's like, all right, I gave my life to Christ, and him not to turn back to his life. Sometimes it is immediate, and he's like, I want nothing to do with that lifestyle. And it's a complete change. Some people,
Takes a month or two.
it takes a minute. That's why the church is like, hey brother, can I pick you up and go eat? Hey, is it cool that I pick you up and we go shopping for some clothes today? I'm actually going to go on the other side of town and I need help picking something up. So it's using these tactics to get them to join you. And then you start talking about God. So tell me about yourself. Like, tell me about your life. And it unravels the pain. They start able to pour it out. And then you can minister, add the ointment to those areas that they need. You can start adding a little bit of healing here, a little bit of that, a little bit of your experiences. Talk about your past. Yeah, God brought me through some hell, son. Let me tell you, be honest. Be just real with him. Don't be religious. Be real. God brought me through some crap. I did this, man, this happened to me, and you'd be surprised. But they're going to look at the finished product, right? No, we're not finished yet, but they're going to see it. They're going to see a mature Christian. We're supposed to. And then they're like, if God can do it for you, there's hope for me. And something starts changing. And that mentorship through everyone in the church, Josh, go to Ephesians 4:11. That mentorship that the church is supposed to all right? That should be the evidence. Because here's what the church doesn't understand. We are supposed to build ourselves up in love. That's what it says in Ephesians 4:11. And he gave some apostles, prophets. But, all right, I want you to read it really loud.
For 11 only?
Oh, no, I want you to read through 16.
And he himself gave some to be apostles, some prophets, some evangelists, some pastors, and teachers, to equip the saints for the work of ministry.
Okay, now did you hear what he said? To equip them to do what?
For the work.
To equip them to be emotionalism, to equip them to be materialism, to equip them to be feelings and speaking in tongues and falling on the floor, to equip them to, give all their money and, oh yeah, we're supposed to be taking out the first fruit, right? Because all the other churches are doing it. I should have told everyone, bring your first fruit.
It's not time yet. It's January.
That's when they do it.
No one's crops are up right
But that's when they do it. They're like,
now. It doesn't
hey.
even make any sense. Wait till March. Maybe May.
Well, okay,
Nothing's
so
growing right
it-
now.
Trust me, you're right there where I'm at. But I've heard a lot of churches, honestly, if half these Christians actually would be honest, I'm not going to say them by name, but I know two of them right now that said, bring your first fruit.
Do we all have a greenhouse?
You're supposed to.
I'm not allowed to have structures, so.
Yeah.
But we will have some crop. When you start tithing, you think I'm kidding. When you get your greenhouse,
Well, yeah,
I
I was already
expect some
gonna.
corn.
I
expect
I'm
some
not growing
celery.
corn.
I expect some tomatoes. Oh, and I like the stripies. So if you can sow that
I was already
into
gonna
ministry.
give you that food anyway.
Well, shut up, Josh. If you just sow some stripies into this ministry, I'd be really happy.
And
God
eggs?
bless. Dude,
I was gonna do
you've
that
never
anyway.
had a Mr. Stripey? You've never. There's. Who am I married to?
I'm sorry, I was thinking of zebra cakes when you said
Okay, so what they are, they're a hybrid tomato, and they're sweet. They're very sweet, and they're really good for a tomato sandwich.
I'm still stuck on the fact that they think fruits are going to be in the beginning of January. Nothing growing right now.
It's the beginning
You
of
can
the year.
sow some garlic into the ground.
Well,
but that's not
they
good for
believe
9
that
months.
if what they believe is like your first fruit, your harvest, your money. You bring your best, your biggest
No
offering.
one's got their tax return either.
But this is something I said at it for years. Every
This
year,
doesn't make me
for
sense.
8 years that I was there, every year it was the same. Bring your first fruit. All right? But right there, what we heard, it says for the work of the ministry. Keep going.
To build up the body of
Whoa,
Christ.
whoa. Skip that part.
Yeah.
So did you hear what he said? So the work of the ministry is to build up the body of Christ. That's everybody is included. That's everyone. That is not excluding me.
Yeah, because you're part of it.
But the pastor is excluded.
From,
In every church he's excluded. It's
oh,
all
from their tithing.
it's all from, so the work of the ministry, so say building each other up, right? To build up the ministry, to build one another up and stuff like that is part of working in the ministry. That means all believers are called to build one another up. All right? But it's like the pastor's excluded. If you think about it, he'll do it, but you got to make a schedule. And I get it, busy. We're busy. But I've never been too busy to take a phone call, especially from people in the church. Hey, I'm dealing with something. I'm going through something. What's up? What you dealing with? What you going through? I'm in GNC doing this, straightening up things. And I can have you in here while I'm ministering to you. I'm perfectly okay with that. So the thing is that it says that, and he gave gifts to men. So gifts point to the gift giver. So every person who's, I don't care what the title is, what people believe the titles are, or what they're not. Whatever their position is, their job is to be a gift, which means I'm supposed to, when she gave me a gift today, you know what I did? I looked at the gift giver and I told the gift giver, thank you. I appreciate that. I didn't look at the gift and go, praise this gift. I looked at the gift giver, and the gift given to me points me to her. When Rebecca gives me a gift, it points me to her. When Josh is too good to give me a gift. No, but when he gives me a gift, it points me to the gift giver. It never points me to the gift. So the points of the gift are to point back to the gift giver. He loves you so much that I've been sent to tell you X, Y, and Z. And it points everyone. Every message points. Everything's like his heart. His heart for you. His love for you. So check this out. So the ministers, the gifts, teach the body because they do it themselves. They teach from a place they operate. This is why some pastors suck. They can't teach from the place they operate because they don't operate. So if I teach from a place of, no, it's about building up. I'm big on building everyone up in discipleship. Don't disqualify yourself because you don't know everything. Then learn together. Be like, you know, that's a good question. Let's look it up. That's what I do when I'm at GNC. I'm like, you know what? I've never seen this product before. Let's Google it. I'll do that with the people. I'm like, well, it says here, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, so I think what you're looking for, it'll work. And they're like, really? So let's try it. You know, it's like you sit there and you learn together. All right? And then the next time someone comes in, I have the answer. Okay, so keep going, and we'll finish up.
Until we all reach unity in the faith and the...
Don't say that U word. That's offensive. It's unity in the faith. Till we all reach the unity in the faith. Man, we so divided in the faith.
And in the knowledge of God's Son. Growing into maturity with a stature measured by Christ's fullness.
All right. So growing into maturity in the fullness of Christ. That right there, if you want to know what this church stands on and stand on that right there explains exactly my heart and my desire for this church. And one of the things is that we are all going to suck at that and fail at that. I'm just going to let you know. And that's okay.
Then we will no longer be little children, tossed by the waves and blown around by every wind of teaching, by human cunning with cleverness and the techniques of deceit.
Yep. That's very true.
But speaking the truth in love, let us grow in every way into him who is the head, Christ. From him the whole body, fitted and knit together by every supporting ligament, promotes the growth of the body for building itself up in love by the proper working of each individual part.
Building itself up in love. So the church builds itself. It didn't say the apostle builds the church up, or the pastor, or your prophet. It says the church will build itself up in love, in Christ. That's when you can tell if you have the difference between a mature church and church that's just emotionalism. It's just based on emotion. The thing is that the church, this is supposed to be family, and it doesn't mean there isn't leadership and there isn't order. There needs to be order, leadership, and respect. I get that. but not so much that the leadership is worshipped and I have purple thrones that I sit on. I'm not going to mention the church's name, but I don't need no purple thrones and people treat me like I'm king. There is a church. I'll tell you about it later.
Let's talk about it.
I'll tell you. But yeah, I don't want purple chairs. I don't want thrones. I don't want anything like that. There isn't anything special about me. I'm good with my little chair. Like the one thing that I try to get people to understand is that no matter what you're dealing with, and no matter what you're going through, you do have, like, if all of last month, that's what I was talking about, was decisions and choices. Everything that we do this year is going to be based on, in the moment, what we feel, and the decisions and choices. You want to make a better you, make better decisions. You want to be a better person, make better choices. You want to really do good in your life, just make the decision and stick with it. That's it. You want to be a Christian, make your freaking mind up and stick with it. You want to walk like Christ? That's a decision. That is a choice. You want to love people like Jesus? Choice. You want to forgive your past? Choice. You want to forgive. You want to move into your future, and you're like, man, this is how I want to start doing. Make a decision, stick with it, and don't give up when it gets hard. It's all a choice. It's all a decision. The issue is we're not mentally strong enough and discipled and disciplined enough that we stick on the course and we stay on path and we stay on track. When it gets hard, we get off. When it gets tough, we quit. When we get to a rough spot, God doesn't love us. But we have to press through that. And we cleave to God and to the brethren that you know will build you up. Trust me. Alicia sometimes rips into me when I talk to her. But it's a necessary rip. It's like, you know when you have a Band-Aid and you don't want to take the Band-Aid off, but it needs to come off because you need to dress the wound, but you have hair. And then they're like, look, it's not going to hurt. What's that over there? You're like, what? You're like,
I always say, I'm sorry for wax job when I rip it off.
Like, I'm just saying, from a guy who has a little hairy arm, and you pull the Band-Aid off, because I sit there, I'm like, ow, 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 ow. And I'll just sit there, and I'm like, ow. And then my dad would come like, dude, you're not doing it. Like, you.
I just told him I'm sorry for the free wax job.
Yeah. But even though it stung in that moment, it hurt less to do it quickly because the pain was over quicker than if I just continuously hurt myself until it was off. So sometimes you need that person that's necessary. Let me rip that off and spray some alcohol in it, and I'm not going to blow on it. That would be how sometimes we need. And then sometimes we need that person who's just here. Just here. Just let me unravel my mind. Sometimes I need that from Alicia and from Rebecca and from whoever else wants to. Sometimes Josh, you're nice. You need to quit. You start learning how to be a jerk. Sometimes what I don't need someone to hold me. I need someone to screw me with a water gun. Stop. Bad. No, it's okay, baby. Life is going to be okay. But no, I just encourage you guys that going into this new year, whatever decision you have to make, I know this was more of a lighthearted one today. I just didn't really feel that wasn't really necessary today. One of those kind of messages. I just kind of want to encourage people that going into this new year, going into this next year, going into this next move of your life, whatever God's got for you, whatever trial, whatever tribulation is going to come this year, it's going to come. Whatever problem is going to arise, I don't need to be a prophet to tell you, you're going to go through something this year. Good, bad, happy. You're going to go through something rough. You're going to have a patch this year. And that's not me being prophetic. You're going to have a patch. Don't give up. Don't lose your faith. Cleave to God first. If that doesn't help, reach out to someone. Someone you know that will speak life, speak truth, and love you for it. That won't sugarcoat it. Don't do that, okay? Because this year might get rough. I don't know what this year holds for me or anybody. But when the trials come, let's go to one another like as family. Be like, hey Sam, I'm dealing with my mind today. Just keep me in your prayers. I'm really struggling. Rebecca, be like, hey Sam, battling in my marriage this week. Just keep me in prayer. Josh can be like, yo man, I'm thinking about giving up again. I got you. What's up? When we grab something to eat, let's connect. Let's connect. This year, let's do it better. Let's be better this year. Let's be the church that we're supposed to be to each other and to Christ. And then when we leave, let's do our best, because people are crazy. Let's do our best to be Christian-ish. There was this one family that came in my work, and I'm telling you, they were testing me. It was. I wish you all could.
Fred was pretending to be in the corner.
Alright. Well, that's all I have. I just pray that God's with you all, protects you all, keeps you all safe, and is with each and every one of you. And I just want you guys to know that I love you and God loves you. And this year, let this be the year of decisions and choices that we stick with. And just be like, this is the year I'm going to make some changes and make that decision to change it. It doesn't have to be your whole body. It can just be something in your heart. A thought way. Like, I'm not going to think like this anymore. And then actively every day until you get it under control, work on that one thing. It doesn't mean that you can't work on other things, but if there's one thing that you know is really tripping you up as a Christian, that's the thing that you need to go to Christ with. Just like, give me strength, let's work through it. It took me a year to get through some things. All right, because I didn't have good discipleship and a good pastor to teach me these things. But that's all I have. All right, we're good.